Now, as many of you guys know, if you've been following the channel, Jeff Bezos' company, Amazon, is planning to lay off approximately 10,000 employees in corporate and technology roles starting this week. Now, these particular Amazon layoffs or job cuts, these would be the largest in the company's history and would potentially primarily impact Amazon's devices organization, their retail division, and human resources, at least according to reports that are coming out and being made public. Now, this is bad. This is going to affect a lot of people. This is affecting people's jobs. And, if you're in retail, you guys know what's going on. The writing is on the wall. And if you're fixed income, if you're receiving Social Security, if you've got friends or family members that are losing their jobs, or you're concerned about the loss of your own job, you guys should definitely listen up. And not only for the warnings of what's coming down the pipeline, but also for some solutions, because I don't think that the solutions that we're going to be getting or that people are going to be benefiting from are going to be coming out of Washington. I mean, you guys see Congress. Congress is not putting the people first. Let's be honest. I mean, when's the last time you really believe that Congress actually gave a dang about the American people, right? So we're hearing more and more about what Jeff Bezos is doing and what he's doing with his wealth. And some of us are going to position ourselves so that me and our families can actually capitalize and come up as a result of this impending recession. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about real estate. We're going to talk a little bit about the stock market. And even if you don't have money, even if you're not invested in the stock market, even if all you have is Social Security to your name, even if all you have is SSI or SSDI to your name, you're going to have some solutions by the end of this video. Now, the reported layoffs, these would represent less than 1% of Amazon's global workforce and 3% of the company's corporate employees. Now, this is really interesting here, right? Because at the same time, while Jeff Bezos is laying off millions of people, let me rephrase. While Jeff Bezos' company, Amazon, is laying off, say, 10,000 people, Jeff Bezos at the same time is contributing to these different charitable organizations. And Jeff Bezos is continuing to make good on his pledge to give away the majority of his wealth to the tune of $123 million today. So while millions of Amazon employees are not being laid off, Jeff Bezos is contributing or looking to pledge or donate his wealth to the tune of $123 million. The Amazon founder, Jeff Bezos, announced on Instagram just Tuesday that he has recently awarded 40 grants as a part of Jeff Bezos' Day One Families Fund initiative, which he started back in 2018. Now, these particular donations are a part of a $2 billion total commitment to combat homelessness. And the scary part is that, so many people are on the verge of homelessness. We've already seen the stock market crash fairly aggressively since the start of this year. And a lot of people are saying to themselves, man, I don't even have any money to invest in the stock market. I don't have this. I don't have that. I'm on the verge of losing my job, or I'm working overtime and I'm still struggling to make ends meet. There's a variety of situations out here. But I actually had a conversation with a gentleman who was on SSDI, and he literally blew my mind. And I just wanted to kind of share this story with you guys. So, gentleman, he's about 65, 66 years old, something like that. And he really inspired me. And end of the day, the bottom line was this. He got injured. I don't know how he sustained his injuries, but somehow, some way, he ended up qualifying for Social Security or SSDI. And so he's been on SSDI for years, but he got to a point where he was tired of living. His quality of life wasn't where he wanted to be. He wasn't able to provide for his family. He knew that these checks from the government weren't coming, and he just got tired of waiting. And so it got to a point where he said to himself, hey, I'm just going to start picking myself up. I'm going to figure out what kind of jobs, what kind of income I can earn in order to reestablish myself financially. And so he didn't have much money. And so what he did was he started off, he pretty much just got himself a part-time job. And then from that part-time job, he learned as much as he could from that part-time job so that he could maximize his earning ability. He maximized his earning potential. And so he increased his income to make the most amount of money that he could make per hour in that role. So I think he said he started off at making something like $14 an hour. And in that same role, he managed to increase his income to say $22 per hour. And from that point, he began doing consultative services. So he began offering consultation services on the side, kind of like a side hustle. And the guy, he's on SSDI. I was like, wow, like you're so amazing. 65, 66 years old and literally getting into it. And he said to me, he was basically asking me, well, what kind of low stock investments can I buy? Like, can I invest in some low cost stock investments? What low cost stock investments are available for people like me out here in the marketplace? And I told him, sir, it's not just you. These are available to everyone. You don't have to be, you don't have to be anybody special to be able to invest in low cost stocks. And so, I introduced him to M1 Finance and Robinhood, E-Trade. There's a number of different, Merrill Lynch. There's a number of different investment brokerage platforms that people can use. So I let them know that not only can you invest in stocks here, low cost stocks, but you could also invest in real estate from the platform, even if you didn't have very much money. So I showed him how a lot of these stock investment platforms, I mean, heck, you could even buy Amazon stock, for example, right? So I showed him how you could use these stock platforms, M1 Finance and whatnot, to invest in companies like Tesla, Amazon, real estate investment trusts, and you can actually purchase fractional shares of these companies. And so let's just say you're looking at Amazon stock. Now, I'm not looking at Amazon stock at the moment, but let's just say Amazon stock was hypothetically $1,500 a share. So you might say to yourself, well, hey, I'm just trying to get started. I don't have enough to, invest in a whole Amazon stock at $1,500 a share. So I told him, I was like, hey, sir, you don't have to buy the whole stock. If you're interested in buying the stock, do your own homework, do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor, but these companies that I'm mentioning, M1 Finance, E-Trade, I don't know about E-Trade, but Robinhood, for example, E-Trade may do it. I just don't remember for a fact. But and E-Trade's a great platform, but I'm saying that there's so many different stock investment platforms that even if you're not rich, even if you're not super wealthy, you can invest in these companies for a fraction of the share price. So let's just say Amazon's $1,500 a share. You can take $10 and buy $10 worth of Amazon share and get yourself going. And he said, well, I would eventually like to start investing in real estate. And I said, well, wow, that's awesome. Like, I'm so impressed by this gentleman who's on SSDI. He's 65 or 66 years old. And, in spite of his disabilities, he's just unwilling to just take it on the chin anymore. His personal rent payments have been going up. He received a notice from the landlord indicating that his rent would be going up like another $250 a month. So it's just, most people would be depressed in his situation, but he has gotten to a point where he was tired of being depressed. And he's like, enough is enough. You're not going to just keep walking all over me. So like I said, he figured out a way to increase his income. He's maximizing his earning potential. He's doing consulting as a side hustle, side gig on the side. He's doing gig work. So, he's generating income on the side off of the information that he learned from his primary job. So this is a testament of what is possible. And so, he's probably generating a 1099 or excuse me, he's receiving a 1099. And if he's smart, he's got a good tax person that's allowing him to identify what taxable or tax expenses that could be potentially written off. I'm not sure if he needs to drive around to visit clients, but if he does have to drive around, this is why it's so smart to start businesses. And this is what this is what the government is not coming out and teaching us. And they're not teaching us this in school. And this is why I feel like really compelled to share this information with my audience, because, if people knew better, I think that people would do better. But this information, unfortunately, doesn't get shared out like that, right? So anyway, when you have a business, you have far more control over your income, over your taxes, over your ability to strategically strategize your tax your position of you can strategically place your business so that you can reduce your taxes if you can hire a good, smart CPA, a good tax strategist, not just any old CPA. And you guys can hit me up if you're interested in learning more about this. If you're interested in learning more about starting your own small business, creating an LLC, which is really easy to do. A lot of people don't realize how easy it is. And so you can create your LLC, start a profitable, successful business, and you would be surprised what types of write-offs are available depending upon how you run your business and what type of business that you're running. So anyway, and this goes for side hustles too. Create an LLC. It's one of the smartest things you can do. You can open up yourself a business bank account. And so when you're receiving your checks, you can deposit your checks into your business bank account. And now you're building business credit, right? And so you're building business credit. You're creating a pathway for your family to be able to build wealth going into the future. And, you can hire your kids. You can hire your grandkids if you're a grandparent. There's all sorts of ways that you can create income, potentially passive income for yourself, depending upon how you structure your business, right? So anyway, we're having this long conversation, me and this gentleman who's on SSDI, and it just amazes me because from the conversation that we're having about business, about stocks, about real estate, and getting off of SSDI, because he said SSDI wasn't paying him anything. It was barely enough to keep his head above water. And, his family would ask him for help and he could never help anyone. And it's kind of like, obviously, if you're poor, you can't help anyone else. But if you can build enough wealth, if you can build passive income, multiple streams of income, then you can find yourself in a financial situation where you have the financial backing to be able to help other people. And so anyway, I was just really, truly impressed and inspired by this gentleman who was on SSDI and what he's doing with himself. So like he said, he wanted to invest in real estate. So I said, hey, start small. You can invest in real estate investment trusts. These are the types of companies that they go out and they build apartment complexes. Some of these real estate companies, these real estate investment trusts, they will go out and create and build from the ground up. They'll build these senior citizen retirement properties. And so these are multi-million-dollar properties, and they'll build them all over the United States. And as we know, we're seeing the population of baby boomers is continuing to retire day after day. And so there's a growing demand for these senior living facilities. And so you can invest in these real estate investment trusts that build these facilities. And so it's something that you're probably already familiar with. And so it's a way for him to get started investing in real estate without needing millions of dollars. You don't need millions of dollars to invest in real estate. You could literally get started investing in real estate investment trusts. There are some real estate investment trusts that invest in malls. They invest in apartment complexes. They invest in storage facilities. I mean, like, how many people move every single year? Like, there's so many people who, especially now with rents increasing, the housing market is in a unique space right now. The Fed is raising interest rates. The Fed has been raising interest rates all of 2022, and the Fed will continue to likely raise interest rates going into 2023. And so what the Fed has done to homeowners and renters, the Fed has changed the affordability of houses. And this is why housing sales and the demand for housing, the demand and the rate at which houses are selling has declined, is because the Fed has made it so much more expensive for people to borrow money, right? And so long and short of it is this: people are buying less and less houses. And so what the Fed has done is the Fed has made rents and the ability to rent and the desire and need to rent properties, it has driven up the need to rent properties because many people are not able to afford to purchase. So one of the things you can purchase or invest in is a real estate investment trust that invests in, builds, or manages apartment complexes. And I don't know if you guys have seen these luxury apartment complexes. They're going up left and right in my area. And it's unbelievable how much people are paying for rent these days. We're seeing in the housing market here, people are renting these luxury apartment buildings for anywhere from $2,200 on up to $5,500 a month for a luxury apartment. And now, granted, these amenities at some of these apartment complexes are just insane. It's almost like you're living in a like a vacation resort style property. It's phenomenal. But the key here is this: you can get in for pennies on the dollar, right? Well, I don't want to say pennies on the dollar, but you can get in on these properties through fractional share purchases, and you can leverage platforms like M1 Finance, Robinhood, and I need to leave a list of different types of investment brokerage accounts that you can get started. And this creates passive income. Why? Well, because the real estate investment trusts by law have to pay out, I think it's somewhere around 80 or 90% of their profits to the shareholders. So it's almost like you're buying passive income by investing in real estate investment trusts. So if you guys want to learn more about that, definitely hit me up in the comments down below. But, as we're facing layoffs, as we're heading toward this recession, as the Fed continues to drive up interest rates in the face of record high inflation, and we've been seeing record high inflation for the last, 18 to 22 months. And although inflation seems to be slowing down, inflation is still a huge problem. So unless Americans can figure out a way to increase their income and diversify and create multiple streams of income, raises that you're getting from your job, as long as you don't get laid off, as long as you're not one of the millions of Americans that are expected to be laid off and or fired during the year of 2022, hopefully you can increase your income and ideally create multiple streams of income so that if one stream of income were to go down, you and your family are not taken out and completely wiped out. And so this is why I'm always a huge promoter of never putting all my eggs in one basket. Just like my mom used to tell me, and I'm pretty sure your mom used to tell you this: never put all your eggs in one basket, Ronnie. And it goes the same way with your income. You don't want to only have one source of income. We've seen Walmart employees being laid off, Redfin employees being laid off, Shopify, Amazon, Wayfair, Bed Bath and Beyond employees are being laid off left and right. The list goes on and on and on. So I just want to share this information with you guys. I definitely want you guys to keep your heads up and stay positive. I've received some negative emails, and I'm really concerned about the mental health of some of my audience members out here. I want you guys to understand that I do care about you. And if no one else has told you today that they care about you, Ron Yates is telling you that he cares about you. So if you guys are new to the channel, consider liking this video. Also consider subscribing to the channel. I look forward to sharing more news and information with you guys. I wish you guys the best. I wish you guys great health and better days to come. Y'all be safe out there. Take care.